So standard 4 is content knowledge. The candidate understands the central concept, tools of inquiry, and structures of the discipline he or she teaches, and creates learning experiences that make these aspects of discipline accessible and meaningful for learners to assure mastery of content. And then the first guiding.
The candidate has errors in understanding of central concepts. Guided question: does a candidate demonstrate an understanding of the subject area, concepts, and tools of inquiry, as well as content area literacy strategies by making the content in the academic language of the content area accessible, attainable to all students, multiple representation, explanations, as well as appropriate academic learning to deliver engaging and challenging lessons. Bum, 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 da, da. I would say you're 3.
Okay, proficient, demonstrates an understanding of the subject area, concepts, and tools of inquiry, as well as content area literacy strategies.
Well, I think you're 4 here.
For makes the content accessible and attainable.
Because you even mentioned that you have it in Schoology as well. So
yeah, I have so many forms of...
So I would say that, yeah.
Yeah, so for the objective summary outline, it's in Schoology and on paper.
Yeah.
And then for them to be able to choose to.
Yeah.
But...
So yeah, I would say 1 and 3 for the demonstrating, understanding, and utilizing multiple representative, as well as appropriate academic language. So like when you're kind of, that means like when we say inferencing, you're using inferencing, now you're getting them to say inferencing and reply. So that's the academic language. But you are using it, but we just need to have them use it more too.
Yeah.
Yep. But 4, yeah, you're definitely making it accessible to them. So yeah, that's what I would do. I did. What did I do?
And then the second guiding question: does the candidate utilize their content knowledge to relate to the content to life experiences and link the student's prior knowledge to the lesson while identifying gaps in subject knowledge and recognizing correcting student misconceptions? So I would say linking to their experiences, that was when the think, pair, share was going to come into play.
And you didn't get to do that.
Yeah, because the question was like, should kids explore? Like,
that was our... Well, that was the question.
I think if...
I remember that question.
I was able to have time to do that, but I still did it the next day.
Right.
So...
Okay.
And then prior knowledge, that was when we were reviewing the objective summary, because we've done that so many times, but there's still those kids that need that review.
Right.
So...
Yeah. Let's see, I'm looking at it. Relates content to life. I would say proficient relating content.
Okay.
Identifies gaps in subject knowledge. For this, you would have to say, how can you connect this to yourself? What's a text connection? What's a connection for you? My text, it's all covered, but I have like text to self. So as you're reading, what is a connection you can make either to what we've already read, what we're reading, what you know. So that's kind of what you have to talk about, that text connection, because that's what they need to, for inferencing. That's what they use, is what they already know. So they need to start, because I was talking about how what we learned about technology in the last one can be helpful moving forward, because now he's using Google Maps. Yeah. So it's all working on each other.
Well, actually, one of my students, not in this specific class, but one of my students did say, like, oh, this would have been, like, the video that we watched about A Long Way Home. They're like, oh, this would have been a good source to use for last.
Yes.
Yeah, because of the technology. Yeah. And even DJ in the video that we watched, he, like, during the Bellwork time when he was answering the question, he connected technology with like what the tools that they use with exploring. Was like, that's great. Like that you're
like, great job.
I was like, you guys are making good connections.
So 4.3 is, does the candidate use instructional resource and technology are comprehensive, accurate, and appropriate for students? I'm going all the way to 4. I think you guys you're doing great on that, because you're making those, differentiating those one papers. You said you had that conversation that you're connecting your resources to students' interests, background. I mean, we can't really, we have to just do what we're doing, but we can talk about that, like you said, the text itself. Yeah. Yep, you do that. Yes, you're doing that. I'm just gonna hit 4. About to hit all of them. Let's see.
So this is for the third. Does the candidate use instructional resources and technology
Yes.
that are comprehensive, accurate, and appropriate for
Yeah.
students?
It's
Yeah.
a little bit different than it. For some reason, this one ended up with boxes. I don't think it was supposed to.
Oh.
That's why I was confused. I'm like, what's happening? See, it's different. There we go. I think so. I think you're doing a good job on this part because you're utilizing your tools. You're coming up with ways to differentiate the students for those text-dependent questions. So yeah, I would say definitely you're at 4 here.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're using the randomizer, you're using the classroom screen, you're using all that stuff.
Yeah,
So,
and the timers, yeah.
Yeah, you're using the things to help guide your classroom the way you want the classroom to be guided, not letting the students guide it for you.
Yeah. Okay. And then standard 5 is application of content. The candidate understands how to connect concepts and use differing perspectives to engage learners in critical thinking, creativity, collaborative problem solving related to authentic local and global issues. And the first guiding question, does the candidate create lessons and projects to address relevant age-appropriate real-world problems and adequately guide students in analyzing the problems and seeking solutions by employing questioning that promotes critical thinking while incorporating varied instructional strategies and appropriate technology, differentiating instruction based on assessment of student learning needs and recognition of individual student differences.
I'm going to give you outstanding because I think you're doing great on that. You're writing your groups, you're doing your groups, you're picking out things that aren't sure that the kids can do, and you're making changes to that. You're making sure that the kids around that need help, you have the kids around. So you're doing everything you're supposed to do in that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel. But yeah, I think you're doing great. I think you're doing a great job on this with the differentiating and making sure that you're reaching every kid and not just
some of the kids.
Some of them, yeah. And then the way you started, like with the summary, you put the summary up there. That's first those kids are hearing it, and then they have a visual. So those kids that can listen and see, they're like, oh, yay, now I know. So that's kind of...
Yeah, especially because the outline is everything that we did together prior on the board.
Exactly.
But there are those kids that learn differently.
Every day they need a reminder.
Yeah.
Yes. Every day we got to remind them.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's going to be. But yeah, so I would definitely say 4 for that.
Okay. All right. And then the second guiding question, does the candidate integrate multiple perspectives into interdisciplinary lessons, supporting and encouraging students by providing immediate feedback and utilizing student feedback to monitor and adjust instruction to help students respect and understand the different cultures and backgrounds of diverse populations while making lessons more relevant and meaningful to learners? I would say yes on the immediate feedback, because when they are working, I'm checking their key details and their summarizing statement. Like when I went back and was like, okay, we need to work on our first key detail, and I was also getting a lot of the same questions, so that's why I had stopped and was making sure that everyone was on the same track. And utilizing student feedback, I mean, that's not necessarily in this video, but I do utilize feedback. When I do like the mixed pair, not like the mixed pair shares, but like I always ask them like, did you like that? Like, or would you want to do that again? Or even just asking them, what can I do that will help you? And it's not even just academically, it could be behaviorally too.
You're getting a 4 on it, don't worry.
Okay.
You got a 4. I was reading as you were talking. I got you. You're doing all that. If your classroom is, the way I see your classroom being ran, you are doing everything you need to. It might not be seen where you're integrating that, but your classroom shows it by the way they're working together. That's the integration that I see. So yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
This is the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, yay! that 2 or 3? 2. Okay. This is my job. I gotta go do that.
So, is there, while you were watching the video, like, I know you were taking notes, so is there anything that I need to, like, work on for the next one?
The only thing was, when you're talking about something in the text, every kid should be doing it.
Yeah.
Like I tell them, I was like, these are the actions. The actions, when we are talking about something, there should be a story in front of you, your highlighter top should come off, and it should never come off, put back on until you're ready to pack up, because this highlighter is always going to be used. It's a tool. So when I am working, when my kids are working, I can see that they're working. When they're reading, they have to track with their highlighter. I even show them what that looks like. I'm like, your teacher candidate Emily Cohen, lesson title, writing an objective summary, grade level and course. It slows the kids that read really fast down. And those kids that have to read every word, it keeps them where they're supposed to be. So every kid, as they're reading in groups, every kid is doing something.
Yeah.
This is never an action in my class. I tell them, I was like, can you tell me what I'm reading right now? No? Okay, then how can I tell what you're reading when we're working in groups? My classroom is actions. When we're reading, we're highlighting. We're tracking with our highlighter, because that highlighter is going to do a job when it's ready to highlight. It doesn't have to think about it. You're just like, oh, highlight. That is what you should be doing. I said, and so making sure the kids are showing you that they're reading, and it's hard to show reading.
Yeah.
Tracking, highlighter is showing reading. The only other thing is that when you're saying, using words, context clues, inferencing, main idea, central idea, all those things, you ask everybody what it is, because those are things that are always being used throughout every grade.
Yeah.
So we always want to, and it's on that. Do you have the units? I don't know what it's called.
Oh, wait, this is in
This
my
stand-
Moreland. Yeah. Hold on, sorry.
So do you have the standards document for unit this year?
For.
Like the thing that,
Oh, wait.
not mine, but the one.
This one? Or this?
Yes, that one. This. Oh, right here. If you look at this, there is these words. These are the words you always want to
the
make
academic.
sure. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what you always want to review with them. Anytime you're using one of those words, hey, what does that mean? What does that mean? And every single time, because those are the words they're always using, and that keeps it in their fresh brain. So that's what I would just say is always doing that. Anytime it's a word or something that they should know, you make them tell.
Yeah.
Or you like, turn to your partner, tell them what they are. I'm going to call 5 kids really quick. Turn to your partner, what is blah?
Yeah.
Key detail. Oh, what is a concrete detail? Everybody tell me what a concrete detail is. Okay, now turn to your partner, tell your partner what a concrete detail. Okay, someone tell me, and then you call some kids. So those are the ways you're reaching, once again, all those kids and getting them to understand. They know what it is, but they're quite not sure of it. But as soon as we start reviewing real quick what context clues is, and we say it, and maybe you write it down, because that's what we're going to be doing today, then, oh, that's right. And it gives those kids that don't have that great retention of memory a chance to be successful, because now they know what they're supposed to do. So those are the things, and that comes with teaching and learning.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what you do. Trust me, I used to talk 80% of the time and the kids 20% of the time. And now it's not like that. It should be you 20, them 80. You 20, them 80. At the beginning, 50-50, because they're learning. But as the year goes on, they should be doing more and you should be doing less. Like yesterday, I only had 10,000 steps. Because I did a lot less, because they were all working on their own. All I had to do was verify that they were working and doing their job. I was doing what I was supposed to do. By the end of the year, we should only be facilitating and monitoring.
Yeah.
And guiding them to get to the final. And that's what I told them. With the summary, I said, I am not helping you with the central idea, because we have written so many of these summaries. If I keep helping you with the central idea, You're never going to know how to do it in 7th grade. So starting now, you guys
Yeah.
need to just figure it out. I did tell them how to start it. In the summary of paragraphs 1 through 24 from the memoir of From a Long Way Home
Yeah.
by Saru Braley that's all I told them.
Yeah, well, for this one, I usually write we do like the first sentence together as a group.
And I've been doing that every single,
me
this
too.
time I didn't.